Put it on Facebook. Oh, you need Hangouts to join. You need Hangouts to join the video call.
You might be.
No.
What are you putting it?
So, can they need Hangouts to join the call?
No, I think I said
I'll try and give you some details, and then I'll let Mom know. But we will have live video.
Okay. It's Control C, Control then Control V, right?
Yeah.
Try that one. I have already put it live, so it should do it.
On my phone. Well, it says RTMP, which is the HTMP, right?
No, that should be it.
It says RTM. It's not an HTMP.
Yeah, when I look at it through here, the server URL should be this.
It's a setup. So you
definitely not gaming. Who would be under?
Okay. I'm going to tell somebody to be able to help.
Long story short, we'll have a Facebook page.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Oh,
there you go. Okay, try it again.
yeah.
I'm going to post it in the LNIB YouTube.
The LNIB website or the Facebook?
The group. Once I get it.
The Facebook one. Now, what if someone's, is that an open group? Can anyone join or they be accepted?
Yeah. Even if you just look it up, like on my.
I'll put it on Facebook.
Even if you look it up through my.
A member of that group.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my.
Even if you look it up through my YouTube account, it'll pop up.
It's offline.
It's broadcasting right now.
Okay, well maybe it's just my phone. So okay, try it again.
Yeah, it's already started.
Okay, well it should be working then. Here, I'm gonna copy the link, and then. How do you copy? Oh, there you go. Copy. I'm going to put it on my Facebook right now and then ask your. Are they my friend? Who are you asking?
It's Matthew, my oldest brother.
Oh.
He's not really on Facebook, so I don't even know if
Okay, well, I put it on my Facebook. Someone should try my link. I think we should just get started, and some people are going to have to.
Yeah, I'll figure it out as you go.
Okay. All right.
I'm not even friends with my brother. He doesn't get on Facebook.
Click on my link. Go onto my Facebook, and then see if you can see the work stream.
Wanna paste? I hit Control P again.
Okay.
No, it says
streaming now. Maybe it's just because it's on my phone.
It says offline.
well, this Control
DHD Darth Jack live stream.
Yeah, that's
right there. Candidates form. So you got to click on the form.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So you got to scroll down and click the first video down.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get started then.
There's the camera.
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
The mic's what's indicating something now.
Should we keep the mic here? Or should we put it more in the center? Like move it up a little more.
It's really sensitive.
Is it?
As long as like we can get.
Yeah. Yoga. And we're also putting this online. I'm putting it on my Facebook, and then I'll put it on the Lord Nicholas Band page as well. So and I'll also yeah. So then you can, what you do is you click on the link, then you have to go below the link, and then under below the link it'll say Lord Nicholas Band Candidates Corner, and you have to hit that. Is that right, Nicholas?
First video. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the council candidates.
The councilor candidates first. Laura Antoine is up first.
Okay, so basically what's
One more thing, Mr. Harvey. Are you going to be timing? Can you guys like a 1 minute warning?
Yeah, I'll give you a 3-minute warning.
basically what's going to happen is there's going to be comments coming through here, and people are probably going to
as
ask
well,
questions, and you can raise up your hand to speak
we will
them.
have 2 minutes to answer.
If you're cool with that. Don't, I'm just requesting.
Okay.
And the other thing,
I'm Leona Antoine. My maiden name is Leona
and
Shooter.
when
My mom is Tracy Evans. My dad was Leonard Shooter. Grandfather Arthur Shooter. With Marshall and Upper I was raised in Golden until I was 16 and moved home. I'm a single mom of 4 children, ages 24, 21, 18, and 7. 2 boys, 2 girls. I've been involved with the community volunteering as assistant baseball coach and hockey mom, and organizing the local native junior tournament. I'm a registered course tech with TC Professionals, and I'm an independent contractor for 13 years with the SID 3 years. I currently am at a number of management tables with the invasive plants, environmental certifications, board, contribute to local NPIC, natural resource program, cost students. I subcontract and manage over the years for station crews that I've mentored and will continue to do so, because I firmly believe we're stewards of the land. And most of you know my grassroots involvement with the biosolid issue in the Nicola Valley. I have been actively strategizing with leadership, with multiple bands and other agencies. My efforts of networking brought me to the Oregon Law Conference as a panel speaker on that issue, and I've gone to a broader platform. My identity is deeply tied to my culture. I'm still in my infancy, still learning. So I participate by going to gatherings and learning the language by listening, learning our traditions. And I envision LNIB as a self-sustaining band with ever-evolving skills that we have. This has partially been achieved in recent years, and this will come with 2 members by gaining work skills and provide for their families. So I will participate at land management tables, implementing our First Nations stewardship ways. If our land is jeopardized, we lose our health, identity, and our healthy environment. The youth is also our utmost importance. So we have youth knowing their identity and contribute back to society. So I'll wrap it up by just saying that sustainability, healthy, unity, community, youth, elders, culture comes to mind for LNIB. Moving forward to the rest comes when all these elements have been secured.
Thank you. William Did I say that right?
Opposed speakers.
Yes.
My name is Bill Bowes. My grandparents were from the Shooter clan, Tim and Willie Shooter. I'm an off-reserve native. Most of my life, but I have lived several times on reserve with my uncle Dennis Sam and Louise and my grandparents. So it was a very enjoyable experience in my life. I enjoyed that. So I can see a lot of relatives here that I've grown up with. And I'd like to just assure, I want to congratulate the last council. It wasn't the upset and uproar that we have seen the last 10 years, so I congratulate them for that. It's very good. And I just want to add that I hope when I get in that I will be able to help move along in areas of economics and education. And just to see if we can get new businesses going. It's real great to see the young people here trying out also. I'm a firm believer like art, our language should never diminish or vanish. We have people here that are trained, they're teaching our people. We got to support them. I'm really positive. The schools that we have here, Warwick Dance School, it's a beautiful school. Our NBIT, it's a beautiful institute for higher learning. And TRU is just over the hill. We have every avenue for our young people to succeed. It's up to us people to say, get an education, get a degree, get a trade, then we will no longer be slaves to welfare and poverty. I've worked over 45 years in the graphics industry. I know what hard work is. I can be a team player. I can work with leaders. I can work with the council and not be upset if my way is not accepted. I'm from the old school. I've done shopping in my youth. I'm a hunter. I'm a fisherman. I love the land. And yet I still realize today we need big industry. I hear so many negative things on mines and pipelines, and yet we all drove here today. There is a solution for all that out there, and it's in our young people to decide what it is. And that's why I'm here. I want to encourage our young people to share their ideas, to give their values. They are important. I am a father, and a grandfather, and a great-grandfather. I have a lot of people looking at me, trying to figure out what I'm all about. Am I a hard worker? Am I faithful? Am I going to get the job done? And I'm very confident that I can and I will. Thank you very much.
Shane Cooley.
My name is Shane Cooley. My grandparents were George Cooley Sr. and Mary Margaret Gilmore. My parents are George Cooley Jr. and Phoebe Cooley. Phoebe Jorgensen, she's from Denmark, and my grandparents on my mom's side, all of Lynn. I've been in the education system for 16 years. I have worked as a teacher, as a counselor. I did that for 4 years. And then for 12 years, I was a high school administrator, vice principal in Santa Monica, and then an administrator in Armstrong. One of the challenges that we have as a people is we're not graduating enough of our people in the high school system. Those that do graduate either graduate with a bare minimum dogwood that doesn't open up opportunities for post-secondary, and those that, and then we also have those that unfortunately are leaving with the school leavers, which doesn't open a lot of opportunity either. I sit on the board at NBIT. I'm vice chair. I've been here for 7 years and worked at the post-secondary level. So my experience is right from kindergarten up through to post-secondary environments. Very well connected in the education system. I sit on the board of the First Nations Education Steering Committee as well. That's a governing body for the public school system. I meet with ministers of the government quite often in terms of Minister of Advanced Education, Minister of Education. I'm also connecting with the new Minister of Indian Affairs, Karen Bennett. So there's the connections of education on that aspect. The other issues that are really important to me or that I have passion for are our elders. We need to be able to create opportunities for our elders to remain in our community. Extended health care needs to be more focused on in our community. We need to have a center that our people can stay at home. They don't need to go into town. We need to have a center where they can go and experience our culture and not go into a foreign environment. Back on the youth, another big thing is the recreational activities that we have on the reserve. It would be a cultural type of a healing type center for our youth where they have an opportunity to gain homework support, emotional support, cultural support. These are things that are going to help transition into a successful role into the school district. There's lots of political voice that has to be put into play for our K-12 and our post-secondary, and those are really important. Thank you.
Julia.
Question. Speak is that I understand what I'm saying. You knows me after reserve. I never went to school here properly. That's why my education was in residential school, the technical school, campus. Anyway, as you can see, this way because people have problems hearing it. That's what you here for. I've been working in accounting for 20+ years. And I see I'm on the committee for the finance committee. I also sit on the finance committee as well as press company. I think the finance department is the part of any institution or community or organization. So that's where people think that if money comes in, we can slow down with people that have everyone. I understand the work for guys and some insight into that organizations. I'm sure my skills and knowledge in the finance field would be a benefit to the assistant council here, and I hope that you will take into consideration in that.
Thank you very much. Norma Hall.
And Squish, Wallaquala, Mexico. My English name is Norma Hall. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. I just want to say the last time I was in this building was during the swearing-in ceremony for our current elected chief of council. So I'm sitting thinking of those thoughts. I want to say that I'm what you call a quality risk taker. I'm going to use the example of the People's Advocacy for Police Accountability. In 2000, our son was taken by the RCP downtown into headquarters, tasered very badly, And he came home and we learned what happened. We wondered what to do. And these 6 months, we decided to hold public meetings to raise awareness, provide information, and educate our people on what they could do in situations like that. So that's kind of the steps that I, as an individual and my family, encourage us to do, and I see those kinds of things going on in our community everywhere. So I sat on many of the committees with in the band and outside the band. Some of them are the housing, the health, education, the Aboriginal war vets, or the Nickel Valley war veterans. I remember Patty Sterling, Mike Bob, John, Richard, when we would come together at the old Friendship Center location downtown. So my heart is definitely there with them, those kinds of things. I was part of the BC Native Women's Society here when we had a group together. Currently, I sit on the board with the Merit Literacy. And I want to say that throughout my family history, I have close relationship ties. And those are the Eskakepmuk, the Shield, the Sawapmuk, and the Kootenai, the Pinakaki basket. So I'm really proud of that, especially when we have to sit in a room with the Minister with Canada, because they say to us, this is your reserve. And I can say, no, this is all my reserve. So those are kind of some of my thoughts when I bring those sorts of things up. My husband and I'm going to post a picture soon that was taken of us in 1966 at Charlie Cafe. Some of you know what Charlie's Cafe word was, so we have that picture, and I think it's a good one. I posted my poster last night. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm open to any discussion. Chuk, good show.
Barbara Mustin. Good evening, everybody. As you know, I'm Barbara Mustin. A public speaking, I think standing and I'm nervous, but people approached me and asked me to consider member of the council. So my response was no, I don't think I'm ready. But they convinced me that I should at least retire. I have some experience and I have so now I'm saying no, I couldn't say that. In the community all my life, on reserve. I've done lots of things with them, working in the finance department, working in the work home. So I've experienced working there. Done lots of office work on knowledge of health, business diploma. Yeah, both for me. I don't know what else to say. Sound board always stressed for 9 years. Don't mind selling myself like this. Often really comfortable. I do have a good voice. The voice for the people. Look at all of us that are saying somehow or another we're all linked by blood. Because we all poke ourselves in the head, we're all believe. So we're all human. We're all part of what we're doing. We're all part of each other. None of us are different. So this is what we need to do: is to keep together, keep working on becoming this foundation. We've had some stuff where we weren't always working together. I think we're getting past that. We want to do now to keep working together to be this foundation, because people are doing it better. We have such great potential. I'll always believe in this better. I'll always believe in people. I know this better. As well as my children and grandchildren. Thank you. Next we have Richard Jackson.
Solemnly, we have a graduate. Tuesday night. Secretary position of teaching. in our second phase. 13. For White Hush and Charlotte and Chris, Richard Jackson Jr. The most challenging aspects of my career and my journey was surviving the boarding school at Fort Simcoe in White Swan, Alabama. It was in 1957. Vietnam War, 66, 69, immediate veteran, honorary discharge for those forces. Oregon State Police Officer, 1973, 1980. Being a proud father, 2 daughters, Anna, 1978, and Zed, 1981. Both are loaded. I have 7 grandchildren. On one hand, being tattooed with the myth of ex-colonialism, historic trauma, and racism is not a badge of honor for me. So, on the other hand, speaking my language, living with mystic identities, making contributions to the community that I work with, traditional teachings and cultural ceremonies, being a role model for our veterans, being very visible in the community. Nigerian being with myself. I'm very determined to grow, not just develop, to thrive. Not merely to survive. To take our rightful place in our lives, communities, and society. I want to show acts of kindness and affection by looking at our history, heritage, culture, and spirituality. Close up, I think the hard look. These are exciting times. Change is good. I want to be part of that change. For this, I say, home.
Until we get our, if you want to be heard online, I would suggest you're welcome to come up here and speak, so you can be part of the microphone, if you so desire.
I want you all to know that Richard took 10 seconds off for Julia's time. She was a minute short.
Thanks, Julia.
Harold Joe.
Well, most of you know me here. My name is Harold Joe. As I've been part of the past council and previous councils, and portfolios I've been carrying is infrastructure and ditches and dams. I say whoever asks me. Give a smile on whoever's asking the question. Anyhow, as you know, that, we also take care of housing as well as the fire hall. And, Hiram is our manager. Joe and Joe Shooter is our housing manager. And as the days we live in now, we have to ride the economic wave that's trying to bear us down. Because, nowadays, if we want anything done, we have to borrow and buy a mortgage. That goes for the houses. That went for this building and the other larger projects on this reserve. So, so there's has to be a whole bunch of planning that has to be done, and also we need you members to help with the vision. Like, was 3 years ago, I believe we were here, and somebody wanted extra room for the children. Now it's happening. And also, you have to take advantage of anything that comes along. And recently, our chief and the people that came to sell us those items up on the roof there, if you went out and tried to buy those items 10 years ago, it would be double what it is now. So, so the timing and planning and part of the planning is a facility up at Rocky Pines that's requested from new members living up there. So that's in the works. And as you know, Hiram has looked after the water systems. I mean, could you mention a day where you go without water for a week? I don't think so. So all this proper management efficiencies, how you spend your dollars to work for you. Thank you.
Next we have Rob.
My name is Rolf. I was born in Coyle, and I grew up in Schlups. For the past 10 years, you hear me? No?
Close to me, Rob.
Can you hear me now? Yeah? For the past 10 years, I've been working in IT in Kamloops. Let's see. I lost my notes. But anyway,
if we could all turn our phones off, please, just, you know, if we could all just grab our phones and turn off the volume so our candidates don't get interrupted, that would be great. Thank you.
I just have a really important question.
I think
Is this online? Can you watch it online?
it is online.
Oh, it is, okay. Somebody wants to know.
yeah. So I'll continue here. My relatively short life experience has kind of taught me to see things as they are. I don't see the cup as either half full or half empty. To me, the cup is twice as big as it needs to be. So as such, I wouldn't say I can get more jobs. I wouldn't say I can promise members more money. I would say I can promise all members that I'll do the best I can to ensure that in the future they will have more than they do in the past. there was a little story I was going to share. Kind of reminded me of my grandmother, how she helped raise her grandchildren. Kiowa Chief was discussing with his wife how he would honor his son at an upcoming Sundance. Now the son, who was about 14 at the time, asked his father not to do this. He said, well, his father asked him why. And he said, because I haven't done anything to deserve this honor. So his father said, young children could be honored too. If they had honored me when I was younger, perhaps I would have lived my life differently. I would have lived my whole life up to that honor. But as such, I haven't been challenged. Let this honor challenge you, he said. So his son thought for a bit, lowered his head, and his son said, all right, I'll let the honor challenge me. So going forward, let us live up to the honor that our elders have given us, and let it challenge us. Let us honor our children, that they may never be lacking in spirit and strength. Sure.
Thank you very much. Marshall Krause.
Hello everyone, I'm Marshall Krause. So I'd just like to introduce my family a bit. My grandparents on my maternal mother's side is Madeline and Nick Lanero. And my grandparents on my paternal side is Bella and Bill Krause. My parents are Elizabeth and Donald Krause. My mom is sitting here in the audience. I also have one younger brother. His name is Hunter Krause. Currently, I am in my second year of university at Thompson Rivers University. I completed my first year in a Bachelor's of Science before deciding that that wasn't my true passion. I was much more interested in community work and working with different tourism attractions and businesses. So I changed.
Could you talk a little closer? I think I'm having a hard time hearing. How do you guys everybody?
Okay. Hello?
There.
So I'm in my second year of university, and I switched degrees into a Bachelor's of Tourism Management. It's much more of a passion that I have. So for the community, I wish to help bring a voice to the youth and to the next generation, the youth that will be our next leaders and voices of our land. And I hope to help build different community, oh my gosh. Sorry. I'll develop different community boards and groups for youth so that they can help share their voice and help build their confidence and help show them how to lead so they can eventually take over and help become the new leaders. So I think that'll be my speech for now. Thank you.
Next we have Joanne Lafferty.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me back there? Oh. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm what? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. I just, for those of you who are here that I don't know, my name is Joanne Lafferty. I'm the, one of Dennis and Louise Sam's grandchildren. I wasn't quite certain where I was going to go with my mom. I was thinking I'm her third oldest, but now, you know, with my two oldest siblings passing on, I'm the oldest living child of Dorothy Lafferty. I'm a mother of 6 children, a granny of 9, my 10th is on the way, and a great-grandmother of 3. I have a very clear vision as to where I see myself being of benefit to sit on
council with the Lorna Playing Band. And I just want to say that I believe undoubtedly that I come to the community with an open heart and an open mind, and a willingness to make difficult decisions, and a willingness to ask the tough questions when those tough questions need to be asked. I know that in my previous term sitting on council, there was a lot of conflict, and a lot of that was surfaced because some people asked some real difficult questions. And that's where the healing needs to begin within our community, is being able to see what it is that we're hurting from and be able to address the pain. So with that, I firmly believe that Lorna Playing Band has been moving forward, and this last council term is indicative of that. There are still some bumps in the road to go because there are still issues that have arisen that need to be addressed. And some of the people in this room may know what those issues are, and yet we really don't know. At this point, I'm not prepared to say that I have a platform, because I have a willingness to work with whoever it is that the membership have in their hearts to vote for. But I also I prefer to take my direction from the membership, because I believe that as a community, we need to be a membership-driven community, because it's all of us together that's going to leave that stamp and that mark in history that says, yes, we are Lorna Playing Band, and we are proud to be Lorna Playing Band members, but what is it that we're going to, what is the legacy we're going to leave behind and be proud of? And that's membership-driven. Coach Joe.
Next, we have Leslie Manuel.
Good evening, community members. My name is Leslie Manuel, and it is an honor to stand here tonight in front of all of you wonderful citizens of our community. First and foremost, I'd like to express my appreciation for my nominators, John F. Isaac and Jean Moses. So thank you. My parents are John and Dolores Jackson. I am a mother of two, and also a wife, a daughter, a sister, and a friend. I am here today because I'm excited for the opportunity to run for council. We are at a very critical time in our history as First Nation governments. And I believe in our nation perspective because we are stronger when we are working together as a nation. We are strong, resilient, resourceful, and creative, and we are proud to be LNIB. My desire to sit at the council table is from a woman's perspective. I believe we as a community are in need of strong, critical thinking women sitting at the council table. Women are the backbone of the community and the givers of life. And I also feel all members deserve a seat at the council table if they so choose, in order to gain a better understanding of what it is to be a leader in their community, as well as to make a contribution to their community in a positive manner with a unified chief and council. My intentions are to act in the best interest of all members on and off reserve, and help provide good governance that represents all families fairly and equally. And I am prepared to be a strong voice and willing to listen to you when you have a concern and make it heard at the table. And I'm prepared to ask the tough questions and deal with the serious issues. I want to contribute solutions and options, and most of all, outcomes, not excuses. This will happen with hard work and dedication and forward thinking that our families depend on for today, tomorrow, and well into the future. I will take leadership and patience as we advance our many issues from a grassroots perspective. Our new federal government elected many outstanding women leaders in the last election and appointed them to high positions within government. And it gives women leaders hope to present to this present future and right into this community. So that's why I'm standing here tonight. And I really want to say on October 1st, you can vote Leslie Manuel. Thank you.
Nicholas Peterson.
Good evening. I'm Nicholas Peterson. I'm the son of Romel and Doreen Peterson, grandson of John and Josephine Shooter, Josephine Cootley. First, I just want to say thank you. I've been on the current chief of council this last term, and it's been an amazing privilege and honor. I've learned an incredible amount. Most, if not all of you know, I did not grow up here. I grew up in the States. I went to school there, went to university there, but there was always a draw to come here, to come home. And I'm so grateful I did. So I ran 3 years ago and I was elected, and I don't know why, because I didn't know anything. I feel I've gained so much experience and knowledge about my culture, my history, our governance, and I feel more prepared now to serve than ever before. I still keep an open and willing heart. All of my values that I had 3 years ago are still with me and more. If you ever hatch a little baby chick from an egg, don't ever see it with the other chick, it's just a chick. That little chick has so much instinctual knowledge. It knows how to peck, it knows how to scratch, it knows how to eat, it knows how to do everything. There's so much instinctual knowledge. And I feel that in me. I feel I didn't grow up here. There's a lot of cultural knowledge that I may have missed being handed to me, but I feel there's a great instinctual knowledge in me. And I feel it really strongly. I know it's maybe only a portion of it. As you can see, my dad here obviously didn't come from this community. But the portion that in me is very strong. And I very much enjoy the land. I am currently working on my master's degree at TRU. I'm a graduate student working on native plants and native species for restoration and reclamation. When our lands are disturbed, making sure we're reclaiming them with native plants that belong there. I've been married 13 years next month. I have 5 children. I ran 2 ultra marathons this last year, which is 55 kilometers. I can do hard things, and I feel very principled and valued. Thank you.
Next we have Lucinda Seward.
Seward. Good evening, everybody. My name is Lucinda Seward. Maiden name is Lucinda Isaac. I'm glad to see my mom here tonight for some support, as well as her interest in what other candidates have to bring to the table. I have been on council, not this past term, but a term before, as well as being elected in on a by-election previous to that. My experience during those terms has been both positive and negative. I'll be honest about that. However, I'm I guess glad to say that I'm able to keep myself level when it starts to get hot in that seat. And I also wanted to acknowledge the younger people stepping up and running in the election as well. It takes a lot of courage, and that's what I like to see. I like to see the younger people standing up and wanting to make differences and make those changes in our community as well, right? I think the youth have a strong voice and that they should be heard as well. One of the other areas that that I would like to see move forward, and because it's been on the table for many years, is the elders' home. I attended a meeting this week for the Elders Lodge, and just to get an idea of where that is right now, and it hasn't moved very far from what I saw, but there probably was steps that were made. But however, I think that's one of my main passions, is to be able to see that come to fruition, and because I'd like to see our elders home. I hear so many others being sent out of town when they should be home where family is, and where family can have that access when they want to see them. Another area of, I guess, of interest for me would be to ensure that all elders are heard, all community people are heard, as well as youth, regarding any major agreements that are coming to the table. The consultation process needs to be strengthened within our communities, and information sharing. And I acknowledge the previous term this current term doing that. I've seen a lot more information sharing, and encouraging the community to come on out to those sessions as well, to express your voice and your concerns at those times, because those meetings are there for you, and for you to use your voice. And if I'm elected to council, I'm open to discussions, your concerns at any time, and also being honest and transparent with you at the same time. Thank
you. Now we have Jack Sterling Moses.
In Squash, Shushap, that is my Aboriginal name, Shushap. My name is Jack Sterling Moses. Where do I start? I want to run because I want to be able to offer all the knowledge I've gained in land department for quite a bit of time. I've went around and talked to a lot of you while working in lands department, and I got to know a lot of you and learn a lot about our history through reading through all of our documents and recording it all. And in my experience in the lands department, I've even presented to the chief and council a good number of times now, and have been given praise for each time I have. They've always taken time to stop and listen to everything I have to say. The things I think I can offer towards helping our council and to be an integral part of it is offering different perspective and different areas of knowledge. I also would like to mention to everyone that I have the full support of my families, like both Moses and Sterling. Everyone that I know they support me, and I have to admit I'm a little bit nervous. It's still fairly new to me, getting up and talking to everyone. I'm more used to one-on-one conversations or whatever. I'm working on it. And I'd like to thank you all for taking the time listening. Good show.
Thank you. Next we have Robert Sterling.
Sorry, I gotta bend over. I have glasses now. I got a lot to cover here in a short period of time. So, good evening, everyone. Sequester Robert Sterling and my name is Robert Sterling. I come from Machish. I have a wife and 4 kids. My mother and father are Robert and Doreen Sterling. My grandparents are Albert and Sophie Sterling from Machish. My mother's parents are Daniel and Suzanne Emanuel from Spuckman. I tell you this because this is how my grandmother taught me how to introduce myself. There's a great amount of significance to referencing our family and where we're from. It's the basis of our identity. LNIB has 10 reserves, all carry a name and ties to specific families that are no less important than the others. I'm sorry to say that our identity and name and land is being threatened by the other 4 bands of the Nicola Valley, and nothing's being done. In fact, in this term, it seems like the opposite's been done. There's been a number of attempts to collaborate with the other bands through our stolen name and Sheesh company, held by the other 4 bands using our name, which Spyam, Nevisa, Stewith, and lately even talk about joining the schools because some of the other band schools are dwindling, yet ours is getting stronger. It's not good business. It would be an administrative nightmare to join with the other bands in these avenues. Something new. This isn't the first time I'm saying this. I was here 3 years ago saying the same thing. I thought we would elect people who could push back, not collaborate, but I was wrong. We need change. We need change in the chief and council that can stand firm on our land and our culture and say it is not up for negotiation. Can you imagine if we started a new company and named it Spuckman and told the government, we're from Spuckman, come and talk to us? It's such a huge slap in the face. I don't see anybody here crossing the line, but nobody's doing anything about it for us from Nshish to get our name back. If we're not careful, somebody's going to sell the farm out from under us for nothing. I have a university degree from Simon Fraser. I've worked in my field for 19 years. I own my own business for 8 years. I've been fortunate enough to have gained a lot of experience on the council. I came in green in experience in 1998, but there are courses and workshops that I've taken directly relevant to portfolios. I've taken several courses and workshops in Aboriginal law, Delgamuuk, the Haida decision, the Chilcotin decision, impact benefit, agreement management, negotiations, other impact benefit agreement comparison workshops. It's taken several years to gain that type of background, and I'll tell you, in this past term, none of my experience was put to work. I was removed from the negotiating committee. I was removed as the working council member. Arguably, I have the most amount of experience on the council negotiating with third parties, but I was sidelined.
Thank you very much.
I wish you had more time, but if you'd like more information, please get it.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm Rona Sterling Collins, Quisletco from Joyaska or Nshish, as Bobby's talking about. That's our community up that way, and some of you, or many of you, know where we are. I'm the daughter of Fred and Lorna Sterling, the granddaughter of Sophie and Albert Sterling, and Mary and Jacob Anderson from the Tuketi area. And probably all of you, or many of you, knew my grandparents and knew, especially my grandmother Mary, who was very fluent in the language. She's one of the few people who didn't go to residential school, along with my grandmother Sophie. So we were fortunate that they retained the language and the culture, and you know, were able to pass on some of that to us. I wish it was more, but you know, there was much beauty that they passed on to the community. I was a council member back in 1988. Some of you may remember back in the day. I worked for the Nicola bands when they were one entity for 5 years, And then I moved down to our community and helped incept this band school, actually, when we were over in little portable trailers, and worked there as a school principal for 5 years. And so I have great pride in our band school and all the hard work that's gone into it. And I have pride in the kids that have attended and have come out and done wonderful things. So, you know, over the years, we've seen the band separate and go on their own, which I think has had to happen. You know, there's been great growth, and the communities have needed to really focus on their own communities, their own people, their own developments, all their own services and programs. I think it's been a good thing. I've seen so many wonderful things here at Lornicla. I think we need to continue to do good things. I think we've had bumps in the road. There's been, as we all know, there's been some conflict. I think some of that is the system is designed to create conflict among us, so we have to be really careful that we don't feed into that. And I think we need to think about our own healing, because we all have come from a traumatic past, or many of us have. And so we need to move forward with our healing, and I think that's really happening, and I really want to encourage and support more of that. I want to see continued health care for all of our people, especially our elders. I have a son with autism, and so I have a great passion for children and adults with special needs, and I think we need to be doing more for our folks with special needs. I also have a daughter who's 25, and she's hoping to come home soon, and so, you know, we're looking at infrastructure, housing and jobs and that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to good things to come. Cookstown.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Molly Tudwican, and I just want to say thank you to all the candidates that are here that took the time to make it here for you. And I just want to say that it's been 7 years, and I've enjoyed it. My first year, I only sat on council for 1 year. And during that time, I was a portfolio for the Capital Works program. The second semester that I did, I sat on the, not education, yeah, it was education, no, housing, sorry. And yeah, that was quite challenging sitting on that portfolio. This tribe was the language and culture and traditions, and I believe that this term I have opened up myself in regards to bringing myself forward and trying new things with the culture and traditions and the language. What we have here in front of you is a team, and these are all team players. We all want to work together, and you all are our captains, our coaches, and we are here to work for you. I believe in teamwork because I am a team player. I've been playing ball for over 40 years, so I know what it's like. And I've been working at NBIT also for 21 years, and have a great team of co-workers there, like Leslie. And yeah, so my strive, my motivation is to try and get a dream, I guess, which has been my dream for such a long time, is a recreation center where our youth can come and not have to go to town to go to the swimming pools and stuff like that. Our health center for the elders. We need doctors, we need nurses for our community. So that's just some of the things that I'm striving for, and thank you.
Now I believe we have some time for questions. For any one of the candidates, the councillors, the chiefs are going to speak after the question period. We'll have a short break after the questions.
Could the chiefs maybe have this their opening statements? That's the way it's outlined in the agenda, sorry.
Okay, sure.
Uh,
You ready, Aaron?
Well, I thought what we were doing was all the.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do the chiefs at the end as well.
After the break.
Well, I was told 2 sections here, and if I read the agenda, it says remarks by candidates.
Well, those are just general sort of notes too.
Well, I've got it open and closed, that's all, so.
Okay. You want to open right now? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I've just got 2 speeches, I thought that's how it was.
Yeah, we're gonna do the chiefs at the end.
Yeah.
There's one or two.
The chiefs will open, then they'll have questions for chiefs, and then they'll have closed. So you'll still get 2.
Oh, I see, okay, yeah, that's fine, sure.
You still get your 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Any questions? Councilor candidates? I have a question.
My question is regarding education. I understand this year we have been given a gift, I would say, gift of education for the next 19 years. Myself, going over past prime school, but I would like education to be taken advantage of in every way for our members. I'm talking about the National League and Brotherhood Trust Fund. Individual people are allowed to have $20,000 for the next 19 years to go to school. It's just like a windfall. Myself, I'm planning to go to school to the Justice Institute of British Columbia, hopefully in January, some say okay. But I'm wondering and worried about, and I'd like our youth to take advantage of this chance for school, or for people that want to heal themselves. This is $20,000. It's good for even healing yourself. It's sort of like reconciliation. Money's for being in residential school. So I just, we were just given 3 weeks advance notice to get our applications in time. I wanted to go to UBC this September, but I wasn't able because I didn't have the funds. Lord Quebec was not helpful for me. I did take a student loan, so I hope I get money, but I plan to finish my master's degree in clinical counseling. But I will be going, I've taken advantage of this National Union Brotherhood, so I will be taking negotiating skills and conflict resolution, stuff like that. I was just wondering about if Lord Diplomat, how are we going to help young people, encourage young people to take advantage of this, these courses. I've been helping people in the Litany area filling out these forms to take advantage of going back to school, which is to improve their lifestyles, economic development. First of all, do you know anything about National Indian Trust Fund?
I believe that application is a one-time application, and it's only for the people in that have gone to the residential school, and any other recipients that live within the household, the next generation, we're able to apply for that grant also. Our band, from what I understood, was we applied the application forward for our band members, but did not get it. So it's not that the band didn't try. It comes on first come, first served basis. And in regards to our youth getting education, right now I'm on the Education Policy Committee, and we're making things a lot better for our youth and for our trades programs and education regarding tuition and books, and so that our people are able to get their education. And we're also looking at people who are going for their masters and their doctorates so that they can get funding for those also.
Okay. I read that application, and the application said there is money available for bands, but also there was 2 processes. The first process are Indian organizations and bands and non-profit society, but there's another application for individuals at $20,000 a year. And I applied for that, and they got my letter, and they said, well, okay, we got your letter, let you know, we're reviewing you. Because of the high application rate, they wouldn't let me know probably November or December. But my son and I have both taken advantage of both of our applications. So I was just hoping that maybe somebody in the band, whoever's at the band education level, can look at it, make sure they look at it and understand it and encourage band members to take advantage of it. That's all.
Good idea. Good idea, Kay. Thank you very much.
My question is for Rona. You spoke about elders and having a home here and support for the elders, and then you were also speaking about your son who has autism and focusing on people with special needs. My little brother has been diagnosed with special needs, and I was kind of wondering where you were going with, like how you're planning on support that way. I am a band member, but I live on reserve, and I was just curious about where you're.
Thanks for bringing that question forward. I think that we really need to look at equality and equity for all of our members, regardless of where they reside, whether they're on reserve or off reserve. Many, probably more than half, I believe, of our members live off reserve and probably would like to live on reserve, but you know, there are limitations with housing for one, employment, that kind of thing. But I think we need to start looking more closely at the healthcare needs of our members. Regardless of the residency, we know that there's continual healthcare cutbacks. We all know that we're starting to have to pay for more and more of our own services. Orthodontics is getting turned down all the time. Certain medications aren't being covered. I had a member approach me recently who said that his heart pills weren't covered for him. And so I think for healthcare, we need to look at supporting all of our members. And then in terms of folks with disabilities, I'm really passionate about people with disabilities because they are doubly disadvantaged. And we as a community have done very, very little to support our folks with disabilities. It's shameful. We need to start some programming and some services and get some funding going. And it shouldn't matter where people live. If we have programs, whether you're on reserve or off reserve, we should be supporting them. So I hope that answers your question.
For the first, for one candidate?
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking this way, so. Pardon? We talk.
I'm asking you if I could ask my three-pronged question.
To one candidate.
To one candidate.
Which candidate?
Nicholas.
Okay.
My understanding is that, Nicholas, you were part of the HBC negotiation team. My first question is, how many meetings did you attend in these last 3 years or 2 years? How many negotiating meetings did you attend?
In the last 2 years, probably 10-ish. We met quite regularly the first year, but the last 2 years, we met less often.
And what number, please? 1, 2, in the last 3 years?
In the last 2 years, about 10 times. 10 negotiation meetings regarding HBC.
I don't see your name on this brochure. Council meetings are 2 council members that were on the negotiating team, and I see one picture and I don't see your name or our Dick's name on here. So it concerns me that you make decisions on our behalf and your name doesn't appear on here. So this next part of my question is, can you tell me what your most important issue was, and when you brought it forward to the negotiation, were you successful in having it implemented into the document?
The number one thing that I was most concerned about was the future. I've been told in the past the pipeline came through and an agreement was made and it's done, it's over, it's history. Some people got like $5, $50, it's done. The right of way exists and it's there. So it's really important for me to be able to have something done in the future, because I hope that my children and grandchildren are even smarter and better and laws have changed. So I wanted a way for the future to be able to affect that agreement. I didn't want this agreement to be an end-all be-all forever. And we did achieve that. We are able to essentially cancel this agreement at any time.
Okay, so you're not happy with already seeing that part. In the negotiation, and I understand that there is a letter that was sent to the band, clearly indicating that Highland Valley has reached its quota for hiring, and they will no longer be hiring anybody as of now, and they will no longer be contracting them. So again, it concerns me that we have a letter within our band that indicates there will be no more hiring and no more contracting with our band. And Highland Valley will be in operation until 26. And if we're not allowed to hire anybody else, or no other band members will be hired, how does that impact the future of us and our children who might want to go into that business, either as contractors or as employees?
That's a very good question. So even to elaborate on your question, to make it that much more important, the reason why we have an agreement with the mine in the first place is because they have an impact on our traditional territories. And regardless of jobs, regardless of anything, regardless of the economy, the impact will remain there and stay there and probably get bigger. So it's really important that we have something for the future. Long story short, I wasn't in support of signing the agreement as it was. You're welcome to look at the minutes. You're welcome to look at the council meetings. I wasn't in support of signing the agreement when it was signed. I'm very much in support of we need an agreement. We need something powerful. We need something that addresses these concerns, and we weren't quite there in my opinion. So it's not really fair to say my name's not on there, because I didn't fully support the agreement as where it stands. There are some holes. At the end of the day, the only real win, if you want to call it a win, is, I shouldn't say that. There was still more work to do, and unfortunately, council pushed it. It didn't get approved at council.
been, you're another council member that has not agreed with this side. Thank you.
That's correct.
Is there any other questions for any candidates?
I have a next question. You will leave it around. I'll take the next one. So my niece, was out of town. I have a niece that lives out of town, and she was unable to come here tonight. She's been making every effort to come to a lot of these meetings so she can connect with everybody here. But she
Where
works.
is flags down?
No, not that one, not that one. Always does that. Everybody asks me where everyone is, and I just read some questions. So, do you want me to read the question? Okay. Here's the question. What is your stand, or would you like to have available to support incarcerated individuals, which are local band members, to support incarcerated individuals to be able to heal and move forward? Do you see any healing center or access to schooling for these band members? That's a hard question, isn't it? I think that every band member deserves an opportunity to have some sort of education, whether you're incarcerated or whether you just live on reserve and need access to get to school, whether it's NBIT, the band school here, or into the high school in town. Everybody has a chance to get educated, and everybody deserves the chance to have that opportunity. We all make mistakes in their younger life, and we all learn from these mistakes. So we all deserve the chance to start over again. So I believe there should be some sort of program for our incarcerated band members. I've been asked how many are incarcerated from our band. I have no idea. I know 2, but I'm kind of related to them, and that's the only reason why I know that. But I believe that they shouldn't be forgotten, and that they deserve a chance too. How can we help them? I don't know, because our funding is all specific to band members that live on reserve or off reserve that have to meet the funding deadline and have to have all these other little special things when you do your application. Because I applied for band funding and I received it. That's how I went to school at NBIT. So did I answer the question? A little bit, but that's a really hard question. Thank you, guys.
You have a question?
Someone on the live stream does.
Okay.
Interesting enough, it's actually to me. Okay, so the question was, as a young business person who lives in Vancouver, I think it was, or I think it was just simply far away from the reserve. What do I think as a potential council member about supporting our off-reserve members? And I personally feel that that our off-reserve members deserve just as much attention as our members that are here. Just because someone doesn't live on the reserve, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't support them. For example, like people just living even as close as town don't get nearly as much support as those that live in Toulouse or Rocky Pines. And I think that's a really strange thing in our system that we really need to sort of work out. Because we have so many members that live far away from the reserve and still need support with the same kinds of things that our members have support from the bandwidth here on the reserve. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. And if there are any more questions on the live stream, don't be afraid to ask. I can vocalize them to any of the candidates that you want to direct them to.
I sit on the board of Ronald Treatment Center.
Did you get a question?
No, I'm going to answer the question.
Oh, thank you.
I sit on the board of Ronald Treatment Center in my 5th term. We are in negotiation with Corrections Canada to bring our First Nations people to our residential treatment program. We've been fighting and fighting to bring our people home. Vernon is not far from here. Corrections Canada and Round Lake, I firmly believe in networking and creating partnerships. We need to bring our people home. Round Lake, we just celebrated our 35th anniversary last year. We have over 10,000 brothers and sisters that have come through the doors. And we want to have more. So Corrections Canada and Round Lake are in negotiations right now to make that partnership happen. On my relations.
And we have one more for the floor. We have time for, you have a question as well? Okay, two more.
Okay, this question for Julie. Yeah, Julia. Seeing how you're in finance and did a lot of financing, I was just wondering, in all of your financing career, if you seeing that there would be or might be any monies that would help people off easier in health and education and in there's like tax goals. Tax.
At the band level, there's usually just the funding for funding from INET and their source source of revenue by the band that's earned by various here. Hello, here. Okay. Band source revenues are usually earmarked for certain things, and it's if you bring it to council that what you're thinking about what might be a benefit for everybody in the community, that would probably be a good idea. So I think that we could put into motion or into sort of a platform as to what can be these funds that we get from taxation and maybe other forestry or whatever funding that the band may be able to get. We could bring that to the council table and discuss. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
I have a question for Richard. Richard, if you got into the counselor, can you bring that program over to there and have it available for our people? Because our people are downtown and right downtown just a look. There's a lot of people that are sitting around all day. And I think it makes our town look really bad. We have millions of dollars going through here, and they sit down there and drink all day and die. I would like to see them feel like that.
I've been doing the work for 25 years now. I'm almost ready to retire. And I'm mentoring other men and women. I'm mentoring other men and women to take up what I've been doing for 25 years. Very good question. We need our people to come home and not be ashamed. If they have an addictions problem, that's what we're here for, to help our people so they can be better providers for their family and themselves. Good question.
And my daughter is a counselor for people like that. She said she would like to work and help. She could like to help, over our people.
Cook share homeless.
We're running almost 40 minutes late. Let's take a quick 10-minute break, stretch your legs, use the aerobics. and Mary June, who are absent. Have his 3 minutes. Mr. Riley.
Where's Clyde?
First of all, I would like to apologize that why I'm late. I was watching TV and I fell asleep. But not really, no. I was actually working. Working, and then right after work, I just came straight down. So I know it's late, but I appreciate the time to speak for a few minutes. I've been on council a few terms. I would like to state it's been very exciting. I think that the band is in a real good position. I see that there's going to be a lot of opportunities for council to make. I would like to say is that the band's finances, which I held a portfolio as a finance portfolio, I can say that the band is in real good shape, and then there's huge opportunities investing or doing whatever the council will choose to do. I would like to state my position that I'm in there for the members. I think it's very important that we look at 1,200 members, and then when we look at the members, we're looking at our youth, we're looking at our elders, and then people in between. But I think it's very important that we get some, that we can get some feedback from community members. I would like to see it more community driven, and then work with the council, and then the council can make consensual decision making or attempt to, and in a majority way. So I think that once again, I think that there's lots there going on, and I feel honored to be nominated, and I would like to seek your support on the election, and I would like to wish all of the rest of the candidates best luck too. Thank you.
So we have opening statements now from the chief candidates, and the first name I have here is Spence Cooley. And did we agree on 5 minutes?
Four or five.
4. Let's do 4 and 4.
Okay.
So I'd like to start by giving thanks to our creator for this day, and for our coming together as a community for such an important time within our culture, the election period. I pray that we are blessed with open minds, hearts, wisdom, and that our tongues speak truthful. My name is Spence Cooley. I'm running for the position of chief. My parents are George and Vivi Cooley. My grandparents are George Senior Cooley and Harriet Gilmore. I'm the father of 2 children, a 7-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy. I like hunting. I like fishing. I like getting dirty. I've spent months living at the rivers before. I've spent months living in the mountains before. My connection to our land is extremely important to me. As many of you know, I'm also a very successful business person. I have built multiple companies from the ground up, and they have all been extremely successful. I've been blessed in that way for sure. I've received the highest honor that an Aboriginal business entrepreneur can receive in British Columbia, the BC Aboriginal Best Business of the Year Award. So here we are. Change is coming, I think. Change is a big deal. Do we accept what we have is enough right now? Has what has happened fast enough for us? When we look around, do we feel satisfied? Are we listened to? Are we included? Are we accepted? Are we consulted? Are we supported by our band and our current administration? Or do we look around and hope that we can have these things as opposed to already having them? Change is not easy. It's derived from our ideas, and we've shared many good ideas tonight, and we'll have many more good ideas. And the thing about ideas is they don't always lead to success unless they're driven by leaders who are proven, who are strong, and have the ability to take these ideas to the next level. And the one thing that all these ideas have, that we have, whether it's our youth, our elders, our employees, our students, our businesses, our language, our members on social assistance, they all have one thing in common. They take money, and they take a lot of them. In most cases, they take millions of dollars that we need. Just alone in the past 3 years, our band has received approximately $20 million in direct awards. And so what we've done with that $20 million is we've gone and signed, in a way, to the Shama. Gee whiz, really? Okay, so it does, right? So we signed these contracts away, and we haven't been able to derive profits from them. We sat there, and none of the profits come through. They take 90% of it away. They leave behind a small little chunky change. That's not what we should be doing. We need someone like who has a business mind, who has a business knowledge, who understands how to take these businesses and make the money. We could have made $4 or $5 million of profits on these businesses instead of signing them away to somebody else. Bring to the table. That's what I hope to bring to the table. I want us to stop giving away our opportunities and to start delivering to our membership. Everything we have costs money, and we need someone who understands how to create this wealth for us instead of just wasting it and giving it away. So that's kind of the core of why I'm running, to provide those funds for the purpose of all our great ideas. So I hope that you agree. Thank you.
And Aaron Salmon Squest, Shkiush is my name. I'm really honored to be here today with all these candidates. It's so great to see so many candidates here, so many new candidates. And it's great to see Marshall, the young person, and Jack here, and some of the other young candidates as well who've never run before. I'm really honored that there's so many candidates, and I'm really honored to see so many people here tonight. So my father is Clyde Sam. My mother is Iona Anderson, and my grandparents are Jacob and Mary Anderson, and my other grandparents are Dennis and Louise Sam. I grew up here in my early years, and when I was about in grade 5, I moved away with my mom and my brother and sister. I moved to the States, and I also lived in different parts of BC. I had the good fortune of completing a degree from California State University, Sacramento in environmental studies. and I also attended law school at UBC, and I've been a lawyer for over 10 years. I've practiced criminal law for many years. I've also represented First Nations people all across Western Canada with residential school claims. I've been on council for 1 term, and I've been chief for almost 3 years. The thing I just wanted to say is, I was living in New Zealand in 2001, and I was having this pull to come home. And the reason I wanted to come home was because I wanted to contribute to my community. I was really fortunate to be raised by a single mom who didn't drink alcohol. I've learned, and she was my biggest role model. And so I moved home in 2001, and I was at Vancouver to go to law school. And then after law school, I wanted to move home even closer, but the only place I could get a job is Kamloops, so I moved to Kamloops, and that's where I practiced law. And then I was on council for 1 term, and when I was in Kamloops, I even wanted to move closer to home, which is here in Merritt. So I've had the honor of being on the chief for 3 years. I believe we've done some great things as a community and as a council, and some of the things that we've done that I believe are a great success are the Highland Valley Copper Agreement. We signed that about 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago. We have opened the doors to band members, for example, band members that don't have grade 12 to be able to work there now. Another would be in terms of the testing. The testing, they don't need to pass, applicants don't need to pass 3 of the tests now, they only need to pass 2 of the tests. Contracts as well, there's language in the agreement in regards to contracts, and we have a real say now when it comes to the environment up there to protect our lands and waters, because that mine isn't going anywhere. In terms of other things that we've done, I disagree with my friend Spence. In terms of, we haven't signed away any money. So I don't know specifically what he's talking about. We have relationships with companies. For the first time since that mine has been there, our band has developed relationships and have contracts at that mine. We have we have a crushing contract where we have 7 band members working there, and that's for the next 3 years. We also have a cement contract that we've just received over the last couple months. They've contacted us in the last month and said, we want you to bid on this contract. So in any event, the other thing, just the language test, biosolids, we worked with the 4 other Nicola bands. We broke into Christy Clark's constituency office. We could have been arrested, and we stood there. And we stood up for our lands and waters. Land code, and the land code is passed, and I believe that the next steps will be to start dealing with the land issues that we have in our community, so our community members can prosper on their own lands. And I'll just keep it at that now, because I know I'll have another opportunity to speak. Choke.
For the two candidates. There is one online that I just got.
Comment that we've got feedback from the live video. They can't hear the questions, so they appreciate the questions to be spoken up or used so they might hear the questions. Or I can repeat the question if you want.
For Aaron Sound, you moved to Lower Nicola Indian Band after the last election. Has living back in the community benefited and helped you with your decisions in the best interests of the band? Give an example of this.
Asking the questions.
Yeah.
I live across the road in one of those 2-bedroom homes, and one of the things I've learned about living in those 2-bedroom homes is The utility bill is very, very expensive. And I don't like to use my heat unless I have to. No, but you know, I think on a serious note though, I believe that to truly represent your community, it is important to actually live in your community and be accessible. When I was elected chief, I did live in Kamloops, but I made a commitment to live here, and I do. And you know, accessibility is very, very important. And as well is, you know, and I think if I lived in Kamloops, for example, I don't think it would be difficult for me to truly represent our members and to understand the struggles and the things that we need to work on. So I believe it's very important, and I think that's my short answer to the question.
There's one more question online, also from Lisa Mike, and it's for Spence Cooley. It's kind of a three-part question. A, how many years were you lead negotiator? B, can you tell us how many millions of dollars your company made while you were lead negotiator working at HVC? And lastly, how many Lower Nicola Indian Band members did you have working for your company?
Okay, so for the negotiating period, I'm unsure, to be honest. I was asked probably as far back as 7 years ago to participate. I never, in fact, worked for the band or was hired by the band. I was just asked to help because I understand contract language quite easily. It flows pretty good for me. As a business, I had been involved in IBAs and negotiations and working under them for bands across Western Canada, basically. In the mining community, the agreements have been around for quite some time. So probably 6 or 7 years, something like that, prior to the past chief of council. And then intermittently, the chief would ask me for information on these new agreements that have come through. And then that kind of fizzled out. So I don't know, maybe put another year on that. As for the contracts and amounts, I wouldn't know, to be honest. So we operate Western Canada. We have jobs all over BC. You know, we invoice up to $12–15 million contracts throughout Western Canada. The Highland Valley Copper, I believe they may have been, you know, maybe anywhere from 100,000 to potentially 2, maybe 3 million in value. So pretty small in comparison to the aspect. I will note that we've worked at Highland Valley Copper prior to any of the negotiations going on, as well as everywhere in the Nicola Valley. I'm a second generation drilling company through my uncle's business, and most of you know that. So where are we at on the third? With respect to employment. So yeah, we shine pretty good in that aspect. As for band members, over the years, probably 5 or 6. With respect to First Nations employment in the Nicola area, I believe we capped it somewhere around 22 to 25. We operate at approximately 30 to 57% First Nations. So that's that.
Thank you.
Can I say something in regards to that question? So one of the things I think that's really important in this position and is, as chief, is it's important to speak respectfully, but it's also important to speak truthfully. And so I'm going to do my best to do that. And you know, one of the things when I got elected chief that I realized was between 2010, when I wasn't there, Spence Cooley was on the negotiations committee between 2010 and 2013, he was removed, and so was Robert, as he said earlier, in the fall of 2013. And one of the things that came to my attention is that Spence, and no disrespect, but I think that the truth is important, that Spence made millions of dollars when he was negotiating on behalf of the band between 2010 and 13. And Auntie, can you just let me finish, please? And so in any event, he made millions of dollars. I was told this, and then so I contacted Highland Valley Copper myself, and they said he has, and they didn't have the contracts in front of them, but they said it was definitely over 5 million. You can also go on the internet and Google Spence Cooley and Highland Valley Copper, and there's an article from 2013 in the Kamloops Daily News, and it said he was the mainstay, his company was the mainstay of $25 million of contracts when he was on, it doesn't say on the negotiations committee, but we know he was on the negotiations committee. And so in any event, one more thing I just want to say, or two more things. So I think Spence is entitled to make money, and I want our band members to be able to prosper. But the other thing I was told by numerous sources is that when he was on negotiations last term, that he was approached by the chief, who was given direction from the council to ask Spence to sign a document to say that he was going to work in the best interest of the band, and if there was any personal contracts that came up, that he would remove himself from the table. And all the members on the negotiation committee were to sign that. Unfortunately, Spence didn't sign that. He ripped it up in front of the former chief and said he wasn't going to sign it. So that's a concern to me. Another issue, just in terms of that, is HBC, and I've been told by HBC, approached the negotiations committee, which was also had Spence on it, and they said, there's an anti-corruption policy, we're concerned, and you need to take a look at this. And they shrugged it off, and nothing ever came of it. So in any event, I just wanted to mention that. I think those are important notes.
We have other questions?
Okay, so to bring that out, can I just comment on?
You said there's 20 to 30% funding of First Nations people. Did that happen to be 20 or 30% First Nations people from the Lord and Indian band?
No, we operate up to 57% First Nations. I think I probably said 30 to 57 was the last number I know. And I hire First Nations from across British Columbia. A good lump of them were local for the Highland Valley because that's what makes sense, but we work everywhere. And we usually grab our employment from the local First Nations whenever and wherever we can. But with respect to sorry, did that answer that?
So you did hire local LNIB members during their contract at Highland Valley?
Yes, exactly.
How many?
I think it was over the years, maybe 4 to 6. I don't know, to be honest. We have 100 employees in the company. I can count off hand, like there was Moose, Jonathan Oppenheim, there was,
so out of 100 people, there's 4 to 6 LNIB employees?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so the crews up there, we only had crews of, 8 to 12 members. So each drill has 2 people working it per shift. And so it's not a big crew for each drill, right? We don't have massive crews for our thing. It's small, which is small little drills, right? But with respect to the conflict of interest, so it couldn't be further from the truth. So when I was negotiating and the problem of conflict of interest came addressed, it was looked at by all the parties who were there, and they are a company that trades online. So they are receiving funds from the world in the financial institutions. Now, under that, it was my understanding, this is what their lawyers told us, that they had to be clear of any potential conflict whatsoever
in order for them to ensure that there was no breach of conduct in any way, shape, or form. So they had their lawyers go out and analyze my company, who had already been doing work up there, and analyze the process, and the chief of counsel was involved in all of this, and they came to the conclusion that there was no conflict. There was zero conflict. There was no access to it. It was an ongoing process. It had no overlapping whatsoever. The idea of a conflict is way beyond that. I mean, it's serious, and business people don't get into it. It's extremely serious.
All right, is there any more questions from the floor?
There's been no transparency about all this now. I can't hear it. But I mean, I didn't. There have been no newsletters or nothing. Island Valley really went far. I was one that, Don Moses took it right out of my mouth and he just made it happen. Don, my suggestion. What's your question?
We're having people are having difficulties on the live feed. So if you have a question, you're going to have to come up and ask it in the mic. Because people don't know what the questions are.
Either mic will do.
That's way too much money.
They can hear me through this mic.
Or this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, it goes like, if you speak to that one, it will go through the PA system and they hear it. Or they can, or if you stand really close to this one, you'll be able to hear it.
Yeah, we're getting a text over here that people can't.
Yeah, there's not much I can do about that on my end.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have a question here for Spence. What can you do to encourage the young people who went away to complete their education or pursue jobs? And what can you do to utilize and take advantage of their newfound experience?
Okay, go again, please.
Okay. What can you do to encourage the return of our younger people who went away, say to Vancouver, to complete their education or pursue jobs? And what can you do to utilize their newfound skills?
Okay, yeah, so you're basically describing creation of wealth for our members that have left the reserve and want something to come back to.
Yeah.
So in a business world, the answer is to start creating a structure and a platform that's economically based that allows them to come back and support themselves as they're coming back to home. So if we provide opportunities to our members first, so the current process that we have in place, signing agreements with LNIB construction and losing all of our profits that way, we minimize that by holding the contracts ourselves and having the in-house management that knows how to deliver on those, which gives us the ability to maneuver those profits into any sort of allocation that we need with respect to placing them into some sort of job or opportunity or benefit for themselves. So that would be probably the first start to go. Now, if there was an issue with housing or an issue with availability of resources for the purposes that they need, that's again a budget-driven equation. So you need to start generating more cash flow as you move along, right? If we're giving away, my respected friend and chief here, he suggested that we're making lots of money and doing extremely well. Well, it's not the case because we're partnering with somebody that's doing extremely well. So yeah, it's a true fact that the businesses are actually doing well, but the way that the structure is those businesses in any event, no matter what, no matter shape or form, to a percentage of it doesn't have to be argued, they're taking away what we could otherwise be doing ourselves. It's not a complicated process to design a right-of-way for a power line. It's just not. We had members that could have done it all throughout the valley. We had members of our band, members from other bands that could have generated cash. We gave up on probably $12 million worth of services that were part of it. And we gave that to our partners. And they won a great award through a joint venture because of it. That was what we failed our members in. So I would suggest that as we start fixing these problems, start bringing the members back in, first right of refusal, member first policies, member first procedures, there'll be opportunity for them. They will want to come back home because there will be definitely high-scale benefits here for them. That's the plan. That's what we want to do. We want to use progressive leadership. We want to use our skills, our business knowledge, our education, our progressive thought thinking to deliver these exactly for those type of members.
Thank you. We got another text here. I think that revenue is great, but culture is healing. This is for Spence. I feel that looking back allows a community to move forward. Besides revenue, what cultural aspects are missing and would you like to see? What would you like to see?
Who's the question from?
It's from Amanda Berry. Barry, band member.
Okay, so with respect to culture, so I'm a business person and I don't try and challenge that within my own mind. All of these things that we do costs us money. So all of our protection of our cultural, our land use, our traditional use, all of the rights that we have, including our potential land claims down the road, they all cost a lot of revenue for us to generate. They all cost resources to rebuild our language, to get our education up to par, to bring the culture into our schools, into our youth. They all are flowing from a fundamental need of funding. So once we create that funding, and we have in place a situation where we're no longer short on those resources, then we start implementing all of these great ideas here that I was speaking about earlier. So, you know, some people are stronger in certain situations, and I don't claim to be strongest in some, but others are. So, for instance, there's individuals in here that would want us to build on our elders. I agree. I think our elders have been left out in the dark. We need to re-engage them. We need to get them in. We got to re-include them back and reinstate them into our bylaws. Their laws have been taken away. They're in court battles right now because of it. It shouldn't have gone that way. Our language is in an early stage, so we need to throw money at it. So my research on education has been that the more money you throw at it, the more success you have. It just seems to be the way that it works. It doesn't matter where your stats go, you raise the bar up the more you throw into it, whether it's through bringing teacher aides or extra support or whatever it is. It's based on fundamentals of having some sort of resource available for that purpose. So to wrap it up, I suppose, for us to be building all of our culture, which is extremely important, we need to first have in place we kind of got to have the house cleaning done. We got to clean the house. We got to make sure that we can afford to do all of these things that are so important to us. And from there, we step into the legal battles that start allowing us to pursue our legal title and rights. So hunting, fishing, gathering, all of it needs to be done. And that helps prove our traditional use and our claim for title and right. That's the precedent that's set now. We have to start creating these. So we start funding these cultures of ours. We start paying youth to go out and go gathering and go hunting, to bring deposits in, to do all sorts of initiatives that they can't do right now because we're short on the structure that is business.
So do we have a question from the floor?
Yes. I have a question for you, Mr. I want to know, if you become the chief here on this reserve, are you going to be here? Are you going to move here and stay here? Or are you going to go somewhere else and be way over there and never mind the people here? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, so I currently live in Kamloops, and I have 2 children that are in Kamloops, and they've been going to school in Kamloops. So I don't plan on moving my children from there, but I do plan on acquiring a house in here. I've lived in America prior to moving to Kamloops, and yeah, the plan is, if I did get in, is I would acquire a place to stay, and I would have it here, and I would be working here full time. So full time to me, I work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week in my business because we don't stop. We work 7 days a week, non-stop, 365 days out of the year. So for me, the process is actually quite simple. I'm already doing it.
Thank you. We have one on the floor here. We'll get to that one next.
This is for you, Spencer. Quickly, I'm wondering about you. The past chief and council, they have put a conflict of interest policy in place? How are you going to respect that? Be respectful of what's in place? And I think everyone in education, they're always kind of wondering, well, where the heck are we going to get all this money? Again, this is for the National Canadian Brotherhood Trust Fund incoming in education, culture, health. But what are you going to do for us? And in a respectful manner, and not just push it upon us in your way of doing things in a respectful way. I would like to know how you do that.
Okay, so the conflict of interest, it is what it is. It's written. The rules are pretty clear. You follow them. That's easy. There's not too much with that. I mean, I understand how our band has severe issues with conflict of interest, but the reality is if you follow the rules, there's no conflict of interest. So it's a non-issue for someone like me. I've been in business my whole life. We're in areas where there's potential conflict of interest all the time. You don't cross those lines. We support employees who feed their kids, who put food on their table. We're designed just to not go that route. It's not even an angle we look at. So the conflict of interest is designed. And to be honest, I read it once really fast. I haven't seen the new one. I haven't seen anything about it. I don't know what it looks like. It is what it is. There shouldn't be an issue there. So with respect to what will I do, what will I do for the band? I'm sorry, I don't understand the second question.
Oh, that's education, culture, and health.
Yeah, so I'm starting
You
to.
said you didn't know how we're going to go about it. There are several different ways. Money doesn't just come out of the tree. I'm wondering about how you're going to go about it. There must be some making sure that any grants that go through are successful.
Yeah, so you're right. Money doesn't grow on trees, and there's not a lot of individuals in the world that really understand how to go out and collect it from the world around us, and mostly from the shaman world, and how to manipulate within that system and use it for your own advantage. It's a skill that not all people have. It happens to be a skill that I have. So the way that I would start fixing these problems is, again, I'm starting to circle back all the time, but we have to first generate the cash flow. And to do that, there's various ways all over the place. So we start creating businesses. We remove the partners that we don't need, and we start doing those services ourselves. The crushing contract alone is worth $4 million. There's a $400,000 profit a year up there. I'm sure we're not getting it. So there's some profits right there. And as they go on, we go do it. And we'll do all of this without competing with one single band member. We will support our band member businesses. We will strengthen our youth. We will strengthen our employment. It's back to the members is what I'm about. Back to the members. I want to have the members supported. I want to have the members working. I want to have the members have opportunity. I want the members' businesses to be thriving. We have to start driving membership first. I don't even think members have opportunities to even tender on any of those projects. So that's a problem because we need to start creating wealth within it to start dealing with the issues that you've suggested we need fixing.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm looking.
Okay, I'm going to.
I wanted to say something. He's been talking for about 15 minutes,
Yes,
10 minutes, so.
Well, all the questions are directed.
All right, just in terms of the, just one thing in terms of the crushing contract. We actually asked Spence to put in the offer in regards to the crushing contract, and he did. And we had our chief operating officer say, put a bid in for the crushing contract, but it's specific to the crushing contract. So he did, but in his offer to the development corporation, he said, or what his document said is he wanted exclusive right to all the contracts at Highland Valley Copper. He wanted exclusive right to all the contracts at Kinder Morgan. And it was, so we went to the band member, not just him, other band members as well, to say, before we partner with Lauren at Club ACCO, that we want to give band members an opportunity. Sure, we don't agree on everything tonight, but me as chief, I'm the chief of the band, and I represent everybody. And I believe it's fair that everyone is given an opportunity. So we have done that. The other thing, in terms of respect, And again, I'm going to speak the truth, and it may be hard for some of you to hear, but I think it's important that I say this tonight. An email went out on Saturday, and the email came from Spence's campaign manager, his dad, George Cootley.
This is truthful.
And it is truthful.
My dad is my campaign manager. There's no truth in that whatsoever. Let's not start spreading lies here, Aaron.
Can I finish?
Well,
Can I
don't
finish?
lie.
Excuse
I'm
me,
not
this
lying.
is not a debate. This is your time when you're asked a specific question, and Aaron's speaking to the question, and he gets 2 minutes like everybody else.
Good question.
In regards to her question, in regards to respect. So in any event, George Cootley sent an email on Saturday, and it stated my name, Lucinda's name, Molly's name, and Joanne's name. And it said that we ripped off, swindled, cheated, and conned the band 6 years ago. Is that respectful? Is that going to promote health and healing and respect in our community? I think that's something that our community members definitely need to think about. You know, when I ran for chief 3 years ago, I talked to my father. And I said, Dad, what you do in the community reflects on me. And I want to run a respectful campaign. And he honored that. So I'm not asking my dad or my mom to do my dirty work. I'm making sure that I do what I can to be truthful and respectful. And, you know, I think it's important that community members know what's really going on. Sure.
Councillor, une question on your bent. It seems that the candidates are both answering the questions, so is it all right that I direct the questions to both of them? Okay, so I think First Nations people have a major political standpoint in Canada's history as of now. So there's been a lot of talk about economic development and such. And, you know, I think the community needs to be strong in order for us to take full advantage of those opportunities. So I guess my question is, what makes you the best candidate to run and be chief, and like how do you plan on living the best of both worlds?
So yeah, I mean, I'm again circling, but to me, we need a progressive, business-minded, strong-willed, stand up for our people, stand up for our borders, stand up for our rights and our jobs, stand up for our members who want to stand up on their own, and be able to provide to those that can't. So, and we can only do that through certain structures, and I'm suggesting that my structure is the only one to do it. We can follow the path of what we're moving down right now, and like I said earlier, I ask you to look around, and if you're satisfied with what's going on, then don't vote for me. If you're not satisfied with what's going on, then place your vote in me, because I will bring positive change. I don't run this negativity. I'm getting bombarded up here, which I'm fine. I'm comfortable doing it. I love taking it. It's great to get these things out in the open. I have no issues with them whatsoever. You know, my 75-year-old father is not my campaign manager, okay? He doesn't manage anything for me. He's an individual. He's a member. He's allowed to say what he wants, when he wants, and how he wants, and it has nothing to do with me. I don't tell him what to do. I don't ask my father to not do things if it's something that he has in his will, that in his heart he thinks is right, and it's something that he wants to do for his purpose. He doesn't do it because he's not doing something right in his mind. But it has nothing to do with me. It never has. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Thank you. So what you're saying is you disrespect your father?
No, what I'm saying is I don't disrespect my father. I have no issues with him doing what he does. I won't get in the way of him. I respect him.
Excuse me, it's Aaron's turn.
Well, she just asked the question. Go ahead.
Sorry, somebody was talking to me when when the question was going. So I think you were asking in terms of both worlds.
Yeah, just like understanding like how the stations are today. We have, we have all our traditional lands and such, and we have like a special place in Canada as like places are right? So how do you stand on living the best of both worlds, like maintaining that identity plus getting the best of like economic development opportunities? How do you plan on what makes you the best candidate to live the best world? Right, that's a both worlds. So does that
It does. Thank you. Just in terms of who I am, I've had the good fortune of having a Western education, right? But I also really believe it's important to have our Indian education, right? And when I moved back when I was younger, I was fortunate because my mother would always bring me home and I would be able to just visit with my immediate family, my extended family, my aunts and uncles. And when I moved back home in 2001, my yaya, Mary Anderson, was still alive. And when I was going to law school, I spent a lot of time with my Auntie Marie in Vancouver to learn the language. And I would spend time with my yaya, Mary Anderson. And that's where I learned and spent time with elders and community members. And that's where I got my real education. And one of the things, well, for example, my Mary is I learned to be respectful in all my family. But I also learned to speak the truth. I think speaking the truth is very, very important. And so in terms of that, I think that's important. But of course, we live in the 21st century and it's 2016, so we need to create employment and we need to, and I believe we've been doing that. We've built a good foundation and we're starting to see the fruits of the labor. And I believe that we're at that place where we're going to kind of go over the waterfall, or maybe, I don't know, we're at that place where the change is going to be potentially very profound moving forward. So that's a short an answer. That's a whole wind up. But I do believe we're at that place where, in terms of economic development, I don't think money solves all our problems. If you want a good school, you have to have good educators. And if you want to have good parents, you don't give them more money. You teach them, right? And that kind of thing. So in any event, yeah, that's my answer.
Thank you. We have a question online that's been waiting very patiently for quite some time.
Aaron, the same question I asked Spence earlier. How do you intend to create opportunities or reasons for our younger people who went away to complete their education or get jobs, and what do you think will bring them back?
Well, as we all know, our communities suffer from poverty, and what we have to do is we have to create opportunities for people to come home through employment. Employment is probably one of the biggest ones. Me, myself, and I know a lot of our community members leave town and they move to Vancouver or Kamloops or wherever the work is. So I believe we have to create employment for our community members, because I know a lot of people do want to come home, and I believe we've been doing that this term. We still have lots of work to do, but I believe we've built a really, really a good foundation. And we also have to promote training, and and we have to invest more in training, because if we don't train our young people and educate our young people in the trades or post-secondary, then it's going to be difficult for them to find work. So I think that's the answer to the question.
Thank you.
Hey, Aaron.
You have another?
Can I just ask, how do you intend to create new jobs and stuff for our people? Because you said that we need to, but you didn't say how to.
Okay, so one example, and I mentioned it earlier, is, for example, what we're doing at the Development Corporation now is we have the cement contract That's only a temporary contract. We are talking to Highland Valley Copper right now in regards to dam raising contract. That's the dam from the tailings pond that's up there. And we have a real opportunity to get that contract. And we have an established relationship with Lower Nicola Backhoe, and that contract is going to be awarded at 3 to 5 years. And the mine is talking to us and encouraging us to go after that contract. It's $20 million a year contract. It's going to create 60 to 100 permanent jobs, which would create between $3 and $5 million annual income to whoever works up there. And so that's one opportunity. We're also looking at, we have the Civio contract at NBIT for catering. We've employed a few band members there. We're looking at, obviously there's our agricultural, we're looking at hops, we're looking at garlic. We're doing whatever we can to create employment. And I believe to do that, you do need some form of stable government as well. And of course, I know that we don't want to give all our money and all our jobs to white people. That's not why I ran for chief. I'm going to do everything we can to create employment for all our band members, all our band-owned companies, band members who own companies. We haven't done a good job in the past. Forestry is another sector that's in the decline. But what we're doing right now is we are in discussions. We have a 50,000 cubic meters a year in forestry, and we have a relationship with Polco. And to be frank, that relationship isn't good enough, and we need to do better. So we're tendering that out to all the different companies to make sure we get the best possible deal.
Thank you. Okay, we have time for 2 more questions. My phone's dying, then we have closing statements. And I believe, Melissa, you were first.
So this question is for both Aaron and I'm just wondering, as we have a growing population of membership, what are your plans to develop more housing or more land development for our growing membership to be available for those that want to come back home? And what are your plans on doing that?
So I believe the question was, what will we do about providing homes to the members that want to come back? Is that correct?
Developing or providing more land or housing for members who would like to come back home.
Yeah, so I don't know enough about the land structures right now to be able to, give a proper answer for that. The first thing I would do is I would come in and I'd research what we have, what's available, what we're currently having allocated, what CPs are in the process right now, who owns what land's available, what the band owns, what land is available for that, where it would make, from an urban development point of view, sense to start developing, what type of conflicts that may get into it and may not get into, and we just start driving it forward. Now that would be my process, right? And through that, I'd want to identify how and who and what the needs are of each of the individuals that you're discussing with, and put together the database, put together the strategic planning that you would need to do something like that, and then start moving forward in the steps. But without already knowing all that information, I'm just suggesting that would be a proper process to go down. Again, it costs money. It costs a lot of money to do all those things. So we need to stop where we're wasting and start generating again, and that would give us a better ability to fast track those. So when you're short on resources, those things can take a long time, and we understand that things take a long time around here, and a lot of those reasons are because people don't have the structure to make decisions fast. They're not designed to do the hard choices, hard decisions. Characters like myself, it's what we do every day. We just drive forward, we keep going, we get our team, whoever it's going to be, we put our heads down and we just start delivering results. And that's what I would assume I would do in respect to that.
Thank you. Aaron?
So just in terms of, we just passed the land code, and I believe that, I think the land code and implementing the land code, we need to enact it so community members who want to live on reserve should be able to do that or live in their community. And what we need to do through our land code is to do an assessment of all our land, and we need to say what land is belongs to families, what land is banned land, and I think we should put a program in place to say if there's this banned land over here behind the school, and I believe there is some land behind the school, and I might be wrong, but you know, we should potentially have a process in place so young families or whoever wants to can make an application, and everyone has a fair opportunity to get a home. The other thing that I think is important is over the last few years we have done very well fiscally and financially, and we have about $6 or $7 million right now, and we're also getting a few million more through the Highland Valley Copper Agreement. And we all know there's land issues in our community. And I know some people want to buy a home now, not 5 years ago, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, when these issues get resolved. And I know there's always the issue of on reserve and off reserve, but I believe the band needs to invest in expanding our land base, which would also include buying land, whether it be fee simple or not. And I think we should do that next term. And I'm committed to expanding our land base. And what we could do is we could allot certain areas for people who are interested in living on that land.
So, I will leave it to the candidates to, we have time for 2 closing statements, but there are lots of questions that you have coming. So I would suggest you might want to make a group page, and all ask your questions on that specific page directed at the candidates. In lieu of time, otherwise we're going to be here all night. So,
yeah, I would just like to add that we have to plan our infrastructure first. Put that in place, then the housings come. So I mean, like Aaron Spence says, we need the cash to get all this done. And we have the tax dollars, but it has to be, it's spread pretty thin at times. You have to do a whole bunch of planning. This infrastructure has to be planned right. So planning and the infrastructure, and then the housing will come in. So infrastructure first, water, sewer, power, roads, stuff like that. It has to be all planned. Thank you.
So can we get closing statements from the 2 candidates, please? Vince went first last time, so Aaron?
There's no more questions on the floor.
Are you guys willing to stay here till midnight?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Okay.
Get it over and done with. Get it played around.
Maybe, Nidra. I would say 3 more questions, and then from the floor.
3 more questions from the floor.
I'm good till midnight.
Midnight is great.
I'm going to say the first panel, Sonia, and then Ellie, and then Tommy, and now I see Jean and James.
Why not the elders go first? They're more important right now. You can't forget about them. They've had their hands up for a while. Gene, JJ, and you guys are ignoring them. Let's get with it. Let's grow up here. Woo! We're playing like a kid. Yeah, I understand. Let's get these elders.
We're going
They have their hands up first.
in order of hands. And the hands went up.
So you're telling me that the elders right school Whatever? Come on, let's go out here.
There's an elder going to speak.
Yeah, well, let's get with.
I just wanted to make a comment. I don't think that George or Spence told or asked his dad what to say on Facebook. Spence is a very strong speaker, and he speaks for himself. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Next is Ally.
Hello. I have a question to both of you regarding teamwork. I haven't heard either of you say anything about teamwork, and you have such a diverse bunch that are running for council. Can you elaborate on how you view teamwork?
So I keep going first, which I'm fine with. So I thought I scratched on teamwork a few times, maybe not enough. So as a leader, your assets are leading, okay? They're not necessarily the strengths of all the individuals within your team. So for me, in the corporate structure and in my business, I'm a leader, and I lead with my team, who supports me in every situation that I need support. So I have individuals that are stronger in some things. They instruct me, and then I just lead it in a direction that brings the whole unit together. So it would be a similar fashion here. So as each of us have our own strengths and our own ideas, we utilize those to maximize the benefit of every single individual, as opposed to, what happened, I would say, to Bob Sterling this term. He was probably one of the strongest council members that we had on that was trained in law, like he had suggested, and he was removed from the situation of being able to utilize his assets for the benefit of the membership. So I won't really roll like that. I'd like to do the opposite. In fact, I'd like to make sure that he's the go-to guy for that situation. I mean, he's the traditional use study guy, and we don't even have him involved in our negotiations for everything that's to do with traditional use impact. So it didn't make a lot of sense. So my theory would be kind of a flip side on what we've done in the past to some and maybe not to others. I want to utilize every strength of whatever it is that we get from every situation that they have. We all have different experiences. We all have different strengths. They all need to be used. They all need to be utilized. And all I am is a leader. That's my strength. And I don't think too many people will challenge me on my ability to lead. But what they will challenge me on is their interest, their understanding in what they know. My brother, for example, in education, that's what he does. That's how he does. I'm not going to challenge him as a leader. I'm going to utilize him and push him in to ensure, and I'm going to support him through what I know how to do, support the team to make sure they can get their job done. That's how I would go about it.
Thank you. Aaron?
Thank you. I believe I have a proven track record working with others. As we all know, prior to this term, we were in court all the time, and we spent hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in court. And I believe that since I've been elected chief, our council hasn't always agreed. But there was at least a couple times this term where I felt that there was a chance that we could go back to court. And it wasn't through just me, it was people like Nicholas, for example, who had some really, we wanted to resolve our own issues. And, and I think that involves teamwork. And so I believe we worked very well together as a council. I also have a proven track record in terms of working with the other NICLA bands, in terms of issues like biosolids, forestry, education. And, I believe to be a team, you have to be respectful, you have to listen, and you have to acknowledge that other people have great ideas, and my ideas aren't all the greatest, right? And I'm willing to listen, and I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I think, and I'm willing to be humble, and I believe those are important traits. And be respectful. And I think if you are all those things, that you can be a part of a team.
Thank you.
John? Thank you. I just have a couple of questions on
I'll try to narrow it down to one. We're talking about creating housing, creating jobs, maybe even looking into a treatment center, all these things that cost money. We talk about economic development. I hear Spence tell us that he's educated and practiced in this field. I'm kind of curious for our President Chief's stance there. I also would like to know who you guys will be working for as an individual. I know Spence is a businessman. He's familiar with that field. And Aaron is a criminal lawyer. Who does the lawyers work for? Who do you swear allegiance to? Who are you? Who is your real boss? We like to think we are, but maybe we're not. I know if a lawyer steps on the line, he'll get this comment. It makes me worried a bit. We fight against the government, and we have somebody right with us that works for the government. I call it the enemy. Just answer those questions.
So just to summarize the questions, can you write those down, Nidra?
Yeah, he wanted to know about where you stood on creating jobs, treatment centers, it all takes money. But he wants to know where your loyalties lie in terms of, because you have to swear allegiance to the crown as a lawyer, who really are you working for? The people, that's what I heard.
I thought that was a good summary. So just in terms of being elected chief, the one thing that I believe is I'm elected chief for all our band members. I'm not there for myself. I worked at a law firm in Kamloops called Fulton & Company for 5 years, one of the most respected law firms in British Columbia. It's over 100 years old, and I was a criminal lawyer, that's right. But you know as well, a lot of our people that are involved in the criminal justice system are our own people. And as you know, Johnny, the reason why a lot of those people are involved in the criminal justice system is because of residential school, who I represented those people for many years. And you know, it really goes to having to heal our community and not judge people that are involved in that system. You know, our elders don't judge people. They always open their door. And I believe that we need to open our hearts and understand, and I believe it, as a criminal lawyer and as well as a residential school lawyer, that gave me the skills to be able to truly represent this community. In terms of economic development, I believe we're already on the road to creating revenues and jobs for our community members. We built the foundation, but we have a lot more work to do. We can't change everything overnight in 3 years, but I believe we built the foundation, and I believe that, and I hope that, you know, moving forward, that the community members will see that we have done some really good things, and we've broken free from the conflict of the past, and you know, I hope that the band members consider supporting me.
Answered my question yet. I asked you, who do you work for? You say you work for us, but you're a lawyer. You work for the government.
I actually, well, I actually am a lawyer, but I do not currently have any files. And I mean, the law, yeah, I am a lawyer, and of course, you swear allegiance to the province and the federal government. But me personally, in my heart, I'm not a lawyer first. I'm Umklikatmo first. And I'm a member of this community. And I'm the eldest son of Clyde Sam and Iona Anderson, and a grandchild of my grandparents that I've already mentioned. And who I really am is Shkiyush.
Just because you don't have a file doesn't mean to say you still don't work for the enemy.
Thank you, Johnny. Well, I take your point, and I appreciate the question, and I've done the best to try to answer your question. Thank you.
Did you want to hear from Spence? Okay. Jeannie Moses.
Yeah, you mentioned building, when it comes to work, I'm pretty right up. When you mentioned mind talking to you about building the dam, and there's going to be millions of dollars probably to rebuild that dam, and you're talking to Lord back home. I would say that's a no-no. You got many young people that have, and old, and talking about one of the things would be that has a lot of know-how in business. And the band should depend on them. Not Nordic tobacco. You know, if you're talking about opportunities for young people, there's one. It's just cringes me to hear that you're talking to somebody else about giving the contract to somebody. Oh, you know, well, you're not that's convenience. It's such as both use.
Okay, so Gene's question was with respect to the potential dam contract that is up in Highland Valley Copper. And I think what he's asking for is the differences maybe between myself and Aaron as to, Aaron has suggested that they are going to be, or are currently in discussions with LNIB Construction, and that would be the process moving forward, would be for the band to partner with LNIB Construction. So Gene's concern was that we would not be using our members and utilizing our strengths within our own house that we have. He suggested that we have many capable young and old contractors that could participate within that, and that when our current chief mentions that he's providing opportunity to us, Gene is frustrated with the fact that we're not talking to our members first. So with me, I agree. It's exactly one of the reasons why I'm campaigning. I feel that we're leaving the members left out in the dark. You know, Aaron speaks about all these opportunities for me and all these issues he has with my company working and the crushing contract and me putting in a tender. The reality is we were already involved in a tender process outside of the bank. And we had a tender ongoing for the purpose of the crushing contract just through a relationship that we've had with them. We did site inspections, we did our pictures, we did all the stuff that a business does in order to put the package together. We then received an email. We didn't know the band was doing anything with them. We received an email that said, we no longer can talk to you, Spence, because we have been instructed by your band to not talk with you any further in this subject. They emailed the chief, they emailed Elder, they emailed Lisa Mike, our economic developer. So I didn't know what's going on, and I emailed back and I said, guys, you got to let them talk to me on this subject. I don't know why they want your, you know, your kind of permission, I guess, to allow me to go in it. And so I emailed them, I asked them, nothing came in. And then so I get a call from Sean, our current CEO, and he calls me up and he says, there's 3 days to put a tender in. Can you put a tender in for us, and can we do it this way? So, you know, there's just misleading information being fed out today, and I'm the opposite. I want us to use everything. I want us to utilize our members. I want us to open the doors to the first right of refusal policies. Member first, member first, member first.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gene. I believe that your concerns are a serious one. First of all, in terms of that dam, well, the tailings pond's at least 2 kilometers long, right? And it's one of the biggest, largest tailings ponds in the world. And, you know, we all know about what happened at Mount Poly a couple or a few years ago. And you're right, we need to employ our community members, people like you and Spence and other people, in regards to whenever we can. I believe, and you may disagree with me, that contract is so big that I don't know any band member who has a lot of expertise in dam raising. It involves a lot of equipment, you know, and the mine's going to want to know that you have experience doing that, and that it's going to, you know, there's going to be no issues there, so we don't have another Mount Poly. So I believe that you need to have an appropriate partner. There's opportunities for subcontracting training. You know, if I thought right now that we could get that contract, then sure, we should get it. But in terms of, you know, I don't think we're there yet in regards to that specific contract. We're talking about drilling. Yeah, we got a great driller here. Spence has a great reputation. So we should have him, bring him on. Just one thing in terms of what he said, and I completely disagree. One of the things that Spence has told me is that I said that he shouldn't, that I told HBC that not to give him any work. I wrote 2 letters in support for him this last term when he didn't get drilling contracts at the mine. He told me like 3 or 4 months ago, oh, I got this letter from Highland Valley, and the letter states that that you said not to give me any work. And I said, Spence, I did not do that, but give me the letter, and I'll respond to it and say they should give you work. And I called Highland Valley. They said, we didn't send the letter to Spence. I asked him for the letter. He said, I'll get it to you. 2 days later, I didn't get it. I said, send me the letter. And I never sent it. I asked him 4 times, and I never got that letter. And
I don't understand how you can confuse that.
so in any event, there was no letter. And, you know, I'll do whatever I can in regard. So in any event, I'll do whatever I can for everybody and anybody who's a band member to promote them and support them in business.
You want to hear my version of being a Native Indian? I worked for a lot of white people, but at the 15, I worked in the hospital, and they did not like the Native people, the white people. Don't worry about them. They're only
James Shooter.
The elders here, I don't know how long the elders want to go, but we should. I don't want to be here too late unless the elders want to be here really late.
It's on the live stream.
James Shooter's next up list.
You hear me? Christine, as the Kazan, Rosie, Boston, as the Spatza, Jack, Suder, as in baby, Naya, it's a government, Naya, Gago, Subija, Naya. Naya, Tulag, Naya, Subija. That's it, what? Don't know what it was. Question. I was bad to that. My name is James, so we had two steps. Take that. That's my name. My father was Alphonse. My grandfather was Jack. My grandmother was Rose. And they've always told us that they're honest. Up we look down into the skies that. our relation with the Watson side of the family, I hope that they will not mistake. At the Tia, what love up there. But even in the both nations, the chief and the captain, were always what they. We've always had our territories. We always had places we went, we fished, we hunted, we did the things. We always did things together. Dawing up Damamas and crafting star, tip, Dagos da, Shwaros da, as Nastutil, as Sahatus, Davos da, Wahos da, Ausbanks da. So our doors were never locked. They were always open. We were always free. We could go anywhere we wanted to. And at 5, 6 years old, I knew whose door was open and I knew when they were having dinner. I made a point that, oh, we get that spirit. I'm going to go visit. So we used to do that as kids. We knew things like that. We didn't argue or fight about things. No. We shared things. I learned from my past how to snare fish, how to trap, how to do things. We did everything on the land. Everything we ate was from our own gardens. Everything we did was from our gardens and things like that. Today, when was the last time you seen a porcupine? When was the last time you ate beaver? When was the last time you went and shot a goose? Everywhere I go today, private property. I can't go to my traditional fishing ground or hunting ground because it's private property. I can't go and teach my grandson. That was bad. It was that. After that. That's slow. That's quiet. Here's the trout. It's running now. I'm going to go get it. Who's standing there? The game warden. I put that down. What are you doing? Oh, I'm teaching my grandson. It's no way of doing it. But we used to try it. We used to try them and everything like that. We used to ride from here all the way up to Shallows, then from there to Fish Lake. What is the Chief and Council doing about that? Our traditional hunting grounds, our fishing grounds, what are they doing about that? Every place I go to a lake, I see cabins. How come we don't have a cabin up there? How come we can't go and say, oh gee, I'm going to go up there, I'm going to go camp for a while?
You don't like it.
But we can't even do that. No, we can't even do a lot of things that we normally, traditionally were able to do. We can't do that anymore.
Or would your current chief be better answering
Current
this
chief
question?
and the running chief can answer me these questions, or anyone on the council.
All right. Who's that right?
Well, I believe that to protect our lands and waters and animals and birds and all living things, and including taking care and protecting ourselves and our children and grandchildren and future generations. I believe we're the largest band here in the Nicola Valley, as we all know, but I believe as well that to truly take care of our lands and waters, we can't do it alone. I consider myself Unklagatmuk. We have the same language, the same culture, the same history, and I believe that we can do some things on our own, but we also, we can build a cabin. We could go do that maybe next week, right? And maybe we should do that. Make our marks known on the land. But I also believe that we need to work with others. With biosolids we did, and we were successful at keeping them out. But I think we have to think outside just the Nicola Valley. We have to look at working with all our Nicola people as a start, even look at working with other Indigenous people. So you know, all our people, and start working together and realize that we are all related and we all come from the same place. So that's why I believe that, for example, on the Kinder Morgan pipeline, one of the things that I've been trying to do, and we have done, is build alliances with Indigenous people from Kamloops all the way to Vancouver Island. And we have taken steps to do that, and I'm really proud of that. Because, you know, when it comes to our salmon, our water, and all that, as one little small band, it's very, very difficult to make a real difference. And I think if we work together with others, that, you know, we will be heard. Look what's happened in South Dakota or North Dakota, right? I think, I mean, all Indigenous people across Turtle Island are working together to protect our rightful place here in this beautiful place.
So for me, myself, I've actually been a victim of the system that you described. When I was younger, I was interested in using traditional methods to fish for salmon. And we went down, a friend of mine that I grew up with, who's Squeppin, and we fished and we were arrested because we weren't within a certain season or timeline that they wanted us. So apparently we had to stop into the local band office and find out the opening or whatever. Well, I was always taught by my grandma and my dad that that's our right to do it. It's our right to go hunting and fishing whenever we want, wherever we want, however we want. It's our resource to use, to share, to do what we want with it, to use it as a resource. It's ours for that purpose. And within our nation and within other nations that we had working relationships with, we were also allowed to use their resources for the purposes of our traditional use. So we went to court. They wanted us to plead guilty, and we went to court and we challenged it under traditional use. And we spent, I think it was something like 30 full days in court arguing the fact that we had the right to do what we were doing. So as the court case went on, the other party argued crazy, unrealistic things like because Indigenous people in Africa did something that we can't do it. And it was a huge learning curve for me. We had specialists from all over British Columbia, University of Simon Fraser University, UBC. The head anthropologist there, they phoned us up. They said, we'll support you. They came in, they testified for free. It was a big donation case. We ran it through, and my dad was a lawyer for that process. We did ours for free. They spent millions and millions. They had a team of like 7 lawyers there against us the whole time, bringing specialists from all over the place. And the end result was we lost because of apparently, how I read it, Indigenous people in Africa didn't follow it. And I was fined $130. So for that purpose, sorry, I haven't answered this question yet. Those kind of 2 phases. Did you want me to finish answering your question? So for me, I believe we need to fight it in balance.
Do you think that's really fair?
What's
to
right?
Your opponent to get 2 minutes and you get 2 minutes?
Would you like another 2, or would you like me to answer the question that you asked?
It's up to you.
I'm just about done. Okay, so I'll just finish up here.
Wrap it up.
So what I foresee is we enter the courts and we just unleash fury. We start going for our title and our right, and we start claiming it. We build up our process of peaceful protesting. We fund our members and our peoples and our nations to go out and start implementing and using our traditional use. That's my theory on it. That's what I'd like to see us do, and that's what I'll stand strong for. I don't want to be part of their system. I want us to show them what our system is.
Okay, that's it for questions. Prepare your closing statements, please. I'm calling it, people are getting rude. So, and not respecting the system that we had going. I don't know if you like that, people, but I don't. Okay, 4 minutes.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to thank Spence for the healthy debate, as well as it was great to hear from all the council members. I believe these last 3 years we have built a strong foundation. Obviously, we have lots of work to do. I won't talk anymore about economic development because I think we've talked about it a lot already. Some of the things that I believe that we need to work on are our land issues and CPs. We need to start addressing these in a fair way so people can live on their own lands as they rightfully should be able to. Health services, we need to do better at our community health services. We need to provide better services to our community members and our elders. I think they go hand in hand. As well, just in terms of another thing that I think is really important in terms of our off-reserve members as well, is with these agreements that we signed and profits that we have, I think we need to begin sharing them. I know this term we started doing the $25 Save On gift certificate at Christmas to all the different families on the reserve. That's just a start. I think we need to share more with all our community members on and off reserve. One of the things, of course, solar energy, in terms of I think we need to implement the solar panels that we have here and start having a subsidy kind of program for community members who would like to have solar on their homes. Youth and our young people, I've spoken about that before, is mentorship and training. It's great to see young people running. I think we should consider a youth council to train our young people, because one day, whether it be soon or down the road, I won't be chief of this band, and it's important that we educate and train our young people to be leaders and mentor them. Just in terms of moving forward, but I believe we have to be respectful and we have to do things together in healing. The last thing I just wanted to say is, you know, with all the conflict that we've had over the last few years in terms of all the, I kind of see it as a big storm, right? This big storm and you have rain clouds and, you know, it's been tough these last 10 years and we've had thunder and lightning and the rain has come down. I believe that over the last few years that the clouds have started to part, the sun is peeking through, you know, the soil and the plants have been fed water, and I believe that the sun wants to come out, and I believe we're almost there, and I believe we have to you know, we have to be respectful, we have to pray, and I believe that if we continue on the journey that we're on, that, you know, we will get there. And I do believe that every single person here has an important voice, and all the people that aren't here, our children and grandchildren. And yeah, I just want to thank you all for listening. And if I am elected chief, I look forward to continue working with you and listening to you, because I don't claim to know everything. And all I can do, you know, if I'm elected, I'm going to do best what I think is best with the council and with the community, for all our community members. And that's my promise to you all. Homa, Kukshem, Chuk.
Thank you, sir. I ran because I feel that the members are being left behind. I feel that the band is moving forward at a pace, and it's not including the membership at the base level, and for all the processes involved in it. They're going ahead, they're negotiating joint ventures, they're negotiating VCRs, they're negotiating impact benefit agreements, and they're doing all these things without the membership included. And at the end of the day, they're dropping off signed agreements with bubble pictures that tell us this is the greatest agreement forever, sign it, get on with it, this is good to go. But we sit back and we go, listen, we missed out on the whole process. You were working on this for 2 years now. How come we weren't just allowed to comment throughout the thing? I've asked to be part of certain processes and projects. I've asked to use my experience. I've donated my experience within years. I've never billed the band anything for all of my services. I've done it for years and years and years. So that's kind of my main frustration and why I've been running to bring the members back. I want so much for us to have our membership included in all these processes, for us to lean forward into our members, for us to build up our member businesses, our member employees, our members' needs, our social assistance. All of it is important. If I get in, some of the things that I would like to work with the council on, I'd like us to double the amount of money that we provide to our members. We have to do it through business development and our ability to drive in profits for the band. But once we do that, we need to start giving back to the members. So I want to double what we're doing. I want to bring in, I want to times the business support, times 10 that we give to our membership. We don't get any support right out there as an LNIB member business. We have to ask and ask and ask, and then we find out it's given somewhere else. We want to increase those businesses because they're our #1 providers of employment. They train us, they know us. It's just the way that it goes. I don't want to compete with any members in business. I want to support our members in business. I want to develop sustenance programs where we're paying our youth to go out there and be part of our traditional use of our culture. They can bring back these resources into a deposit and split it up amongst the members. We can have our elders doing traditional processing of our salmon and our fish that they bring back. They can start practicing our traditional use. We start building a legal case for our title and right as we move down the path to want to start to claim it. So we fund ourselves to start doing that, and we, in turn, we start getting traditional use back in place. We get people interested. They can't afford to go pick berries right now. It costs $100 to drive up and get a basket of berries. We need to start funding our members, funding our youth, funding our elders, so that all of this can become a reality for them and not left behind in the dark. Our off-reserve members, I haven't heard a lot of them be talked about here tonight, but I would like to bring in a full department that is exclusively for the purpose of reaching out, actively engaging with our off-reserve members. They're missing out on everything. We need to have them able and part of every process that we have. We have to have them available for any sort of documentation, projects, whatever we're doing. They need to be in the loop. But to do that, we need to have a department that's designed specifically to go out and get them. So, to do that, though, we need progressive leaders. We need to be electing progressive leaders. We need educated, young, knowledgeable, strong leaders. We need a group of members from here that understand how to drive this type of process forward. We need to have a team that works together. We can't have all these divisions going on. So I'm asking you to vote for me, vote for the progressive leaders in here, vote for the educated ones, vote for the ones that are going to add something to value to the chief of council as we move forward. Don't select for names, don't select for friends, add something to value so we can use it as a team to move this band forward. Everybody will benefit if you go ahead and do that, I promise you, but it's going to take all of us to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. One more of these guys, email, phone. Lots of room for questions. That's it.
Yeah, everybody, thank you very much for all your time.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone, thank you very much for your time. I just want a quick 30 seconds to say to everybody online and everybody in here, I encourage all our members to get out and vote. We all have a voice, and our voice is in our votes. We have over 900 band members who can get out there and vote, who are over the age of 18. So we have a voice. So everybody, please get out and vote. I'd like if you vote for me, but even if you just vote for who you see as your council member, your chief, please get out and vote. There's over 900 of us. There's no reason why we can't vote. You can vote through mail or come in person. So thank you very much.
If I'm talking about rights, let me talk. I worked for Canada's construction for 7 years and 5 years ago, we're up at the dam. I worked on 4 different dams up in Island Valley. Okay, now, since they've raised the highway up 2 times, 2 dams are underneath. Okay, now, you say you want the contract without LNIB. Now, how much equipment do we have here? And who's got the experience to even build a dam? Okay, you got listed the engineer. The engineer at that time was from Vancouver. Now, in order to get a piece of equipment up there, for every single piece of equipment, we had 769s. They're worth over $500,000 a piece. And how many wheel trucks that are going to be in there, and how many dozers, how many excavators, who's all going to pay for that? And another question is, as far as if you do get the contract, you have to hire, say, somebody that knows what the hell they're doing, like say, even a couple of the old timers, even after white dudes, that live up there, they've been there for at least 30 years, if not longer. So I'm just, see what you have to say on that.
Yeah, so with respect to something like the dam, okay, so I've worked with some pretty big environmental companies in my time. I've done, you hear me now? Yeah, so with respect to something like the dam, okay, so I've worked with environmental companies and we've done some pretty significant contracts, okay, so for something like the dam, let's say technical specific to that, mostly it's done through the engineering process. The equipment and the processing, the operating it really isn't that difficult to achieve. But let's say that you're correct in your assumption. What we don't want to do is to be signing away a contract that gives us locked in for 3 years or whatever the term is, okay? We want to run the contract management of the process. So the management is where the companies are robbing from us. We create a partnership with them. And it's the management side of it that they shift off the profits within the partnership. So they tell us, well, we're going to have a 50-50 joint venture, and we're going to split the profits 50-50. But then they say, we're going to lease our equipment back in the company. We're going to return back. Our management fee is going to be X amount of dollars. And what's left over normally, in most traditional cases, in most joint ventures between industry and First Nations, is that we end up with, 3% in some cases that I've seen, do as high as 22%. But what we're doing is we're missing out on the ability to maneuver as the time goes on to do whatever we want. So if we have the contract management of it, and we have to go out and we have to sub out the services that you're suggesting we do, we slowly implement procedures and slowly start taking those over. So that's how you would go about it. That's if another contract was coming in to do it, so there's massive companies out there that do contract management. That's all they do. They don't own any equipment of their own. Companies like Ledcor and all these big, huge things, most cases, they actually don't own the services that are being done from it, okay? They run the project management of it. And then they bring them in. We're doing it backwards. We're signing long-term agreements with partners that, are good partners. I'm sure they're still doing it. But for our purpose and for us to maximize, we need to make sure that those agreements are structured properly. We need to control the management of that, and that is what I'm saying we have in-house capacity to do in that certain circumstance. Go ahead.
You control the management, then, okay, then, but still you still have to hire, not say a whole big bunch of previous old dam construction work, maybe just 2 or 3, you know? To say, well, you know, you get up, while you've been there, you don't get huge, and you gotta know where the pits are, different types of dirt, that, where they're gonna get it from the shortest distance, and all this, you know? And, and then, you know, like you were saying, like all these big companies, they rent all this stuff. I agree with that, you know, like, a lot of stuff, like, when I was out in the mess, we got stuff down from the States, we got some trucks in from China, you know, and it's all put together, but, you know, and it was massive.
Yeah, it's a big project. $25 million a year is a big project, and you're correct. In a lot of circumstances, we would be hiring the services that we would need, but we would be controlling the project management. And once we utilize our membership, and we're not having any more members that can participate in it through their business, through their equipment, through their employment, through their services, whatever it may be that we can utilize. That's how we want to go about business. We want to first use our in-house, and whatever's left over, of course, we have to go out and sub out. We have to hire those guys that know what to do. We would want to hire them. We would want to build those relationships. It's the same with anything, but we don't want to give away the management structure of those so we can grow at times that we want as opposed to lock in for long-term periods. Because those agreements won't give first right of refusals to members to even purchase equipment next year. But let's say someone wants to purchase equipment next year. Well, if the joint venture sign now and the equipment gets on site, that ability won't be for them. If we control the management of ours and we structure our contracts properly with them, which are exit clauses, we can slowly maneuver in our own members, our own processes, our own equipment, potentially even the band's equipment, if we're comfortable enough, the council agrees that we have the management house to do it, we can start getting our own structure in place to take it over exclusively. That would be the ultimate goal. You know, does that take 3 years? No, it would probably take 3 to 5 years. It would probably be completed in 5 years. You know, some of these things are 6-year processes and they'll take time for sure. But right now, we're wasting 3 years in our current process that we maybe get into. I'm suggesting we go the other route and start controlling the system rather than to just sign it away and do it. So, Ned, I hope you agree. I don't know.
Excuse me, everybody. If everybody can help out with the cleanup, because the janitorial staff is here and they're waiting for everybody to leave so that they can clean up. So if everybody would clean up, help with the tables and stuff like that, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I know I'm quite close to the mic. I just want to thank everyone for attending the stream, and you know, I just want everyone to know that I use my personal account for this, and you know, I just want a little bit of proper credit on that, as well as I was the one moderating the stream, and as a candidate for council, I want to also stress that I want to continue in this direction and include a lot of our non-members as well in this way. I hope you all can hear me over all the excess noise. Anyways, have a good night. I will be concluding the stream now.
Thanks for working on that feed. I'm sure my family appreciates it.
I was just concluding. Yeah.